Welcome back, everybody, to another show of Flyway Connections. My name is Chris. I'm here with my buddy Joe.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Hey, so today we got a special guest. Joe, you want to go ahead and introduce our special guest?
Yeah, special guest for today is my good brother from another mother, the owner of RM Custom Calls, the man, the legend, Stump. Hey, how you doing today, Stump?
I'm doing good, but I'm a little bewildered already.
You said R. So the thing is, like, he usually says RMC Calls, which I know
Yes.
RM Calls is the right term, but we just thought it was
Well, under legally it's RM Custom Calls, but we try to leave the custom word off. People see that and they think certain things. So,
all right. So
any of them works.
So I actually got a question, but when we get it started, he had made a little joke that he called me a tenderfoot to you. Did he do that?
Did he call you
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say a tenderfoot,
Okay.
but I do. Hold up, wait a second, wait. Okay, the aroma's coming through the phone. Just a second. There it is. I smell cherry.
Yeah.
Cherry pie, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I smell cherry pie.
Fresh cherry pie.
Yeah, because he,
Fresh.
first of all, he doesn't even, I'm the one that, I think I called him a tenderfoot one time. He had no idea what a tenderfoot was. I don't know if you know, but.
I know what tenderfoot is. I'm old, buddy. So,
okay,
hey.
so I called him a tenderfoot, and he's like, "What's a tenderfoot?" And I think the next day he tried to call me. He couldn't remember what it was, and he called me a soft foot. I was like, "What the hell is
soft foot?
What the what's a?"
Oh my God, dude, that's
foot?
about. Oh my Lord. Okay, yeah, Joe, we got to get you up to speed, brother.
Oh, soft hands over here now. And then he just told me he got some lotion for his hands because his hands get all rough and stuff.
No, he did not. No,
yes, he did.
No.
Hey, what's the lotion called that she got you?
Is that Suave or whatever?
It's some suave lotion because his hands are
suave.
are
I
not
bet you
soft
it said suave for men, was it not?
It does in the great bottles.
That way, it made you feel better, didn't it?
Yeah, when you pick up those decoys and that brackish water, it really dries your hands out.
Yeah, that's all he's doing though, is picking up decoys.
Yeah, because he's not picking up any birds. I've seen him shoot, brother.
Oh, tomorrow we got to go shoot. We're gonna see him shoot skeet.
I think the first day I met Joe, that entire trip, if I'm not mistaken, there was like two cases of shells that were fired, and I think maybe 16 birds died from fear. So yes.
Hey, we ended up. There was a.
But it might have been that he was just too short and couldn't stand up out of the pit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this episode for weeks.
Oh, love you, brother.
Yeah, how was the turkey woods today?
So it did not go. So we had really crazy for North Carolina. You know, we get storms, but a lot of times because the Appalachian Mountains are to the west, it'll break those storms up. But if they'll sneak up through Georgia and South Carolina, we'll get some good storms. Well, yesterday was the second tornado in this county, which I used to live out in Oklahoma, so tornadoes, no big deal. But for this county in this area, in the Uari Mountain area, to have tornadoes is really strange.
Yeah.
So we didn't go hunting this morning because we had a whole bunch of storms and everything. And it's turkey season in South Carolina. North Carolina has not opened up yet.
Okay. So
yeah, but I've got property down there that I've been taking kids to.
So what part of Oklahoma are you from?
So I live in North Carolina, but I used to live in Oklahoma.
What part?
Tulsa. I lived in Claremore, which is like an hour, 45 minutes or so northeast.
Okay, yeah, I'm from North Texas, so we go to Oklahoma and Texarkana all the time to go fishing and stuff. So.
Oh yeah. Lots of water there, lots of great fishing and everything.
Yeah, great fishing, duck hunting too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, buddy of mine caught a paddlefish yesterday that was banded, and I'm like, dude, you're just like a magnet.
Well, they got. I know some of them. They got some of the bass. They got them tagged on their brand and stuff. It's just basically say, please throw this back or something. I'm like, what the?
Yes.
It's crazy, but yeah. So we go up there a lot. Windstar especially. So.
little too flat for me, but I enjoyed my time, but just a little too flat for me.
Yeah, but all right. So before we get into, I actually have a question. And Joe kind of told me, but I want to hear it from the mouth of the guy who makes the calls. So I know you basically make all your calls by hand. You have nobody else helping you. What got you to not teach somebody else? Is it just because of preference or?
Because most people will stab you in the back.
You're right.
I mean, if you call for me to be caught, I mean, I'm going to give you a straight answer. Seriously, most people will stab you in the back. So you can show somebody, I can't explain the amount of intricacies that go into a duck call, especially on the tone board, but there's so many other things outside of that. You start showing people how to make adjustments and do this and do that. And trust me, the next thing you know, they know what they're doing and they go off and they do it. Now you've created another competition but at the same time, I will say this. I take very much pride and stock in learning how to do things from trial and error. You learn more from failures than you do successes. And I've had a tremendous amount of failures. I just believe that it's just better for somebody to learn on their own. Hence the reason why I've never really taken anybody underneath my wing or anything.
Yeah, good thing you didn't take Joe.
Nope, that boy would have had it to the highest bidder.
So how was
Can you say Wapple?
So how was he with his when you first heard him call?
Oh, I had bad habits.
Yeah. I think that then afterwards it was okay. Let's try not to do any more of that right now. let's work on shooting ducks. We are here with valor and honor. Let's at least get the ducks in, get some shots, so I get some video. We'll work on the calling away from the blind.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's a whistle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's where you got it from.
Yeah. So me and Stump, we talk all the time, and that's where I'll say I grew up, in the duck clubs. I was spoiled. Where Stump definitely mentored me at was the public land DYI. Hey, bud, the ducks aren't going to come to you.
Because you sound like the penguin from Happy Feet.
Oh, yeah. I was using Echo double reads. I thought the double read was the way to go.
Yeah.
Well, with your double reads and Echo, Rick makes a fine call.
Yeah.
He's a nice. I mean, I can't say anything bad about Rick or anything. And man, there's been a lot of ducks have been killed to that call. So but at the end of the day, call operation has a lot to do with, I believe, with waterfowling.
So for our listeners and new people in the waterfowl community like myself, what is the difference between now I know that there's double reads in there, but what's the difference as far as the technique in calling on a double read and a single read?
Well, so the double read basically is it's got training wheels in it, which is that second read. You can make a lot of sounds with a double read, but you will never ever be able to duplicate the intricacies, the pitch changes, the cadence, all of the little nuances that you can do with a single read. So, can you kill ducks with a double read? Lord, yes.
Okay, thank God.
where I live at, most people blow a double read out here on the East Coast. However, when you go out duck hunting, there's probably 5 ducks that you're going to see, and everybody's going to toot at them and digga. Well, you had better know how to do something else. And what you would, I've always prided myself in to be able to have a large vocabulary, because for example, on our hunt up in Michigan or in Missouri this year with a good buddy, and those ducks were very pressured. They were very stale ducks. It took a little bit to figure out what they wanted. And once figured out that they really liked a little squeal on the end of almost every freaking note, even on the hails, we wah, 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 you just wah, 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 don't cut that note hard. We started working birds, but if you could not make that sound, you never would have worked those birds.
Okay, yeah, so I actually bought one of the Alpha.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Joe was the one that told me, hey, you need to get the Alpha one. I
could have recommended a lot more better duck calls.
Next time I'll call you, so my daughter actually fell in love with calling. I took her out because I've taken her out hunting, deer hunting and stuff like that, fishing and all that. But we got into so I'll be honest, I say this probably on every show. I wasn't much of a duck hunter just because I made fun of duck hunters, but
I used to do the same thing.
But anyways, besides that, my daughter actually really enjoyed it. I showed her a video of like competition calling, so now she's all into that. And I actually gave her the alpha, and she's been practicing on that, watching videos. Joe sent me some videos. Now that
how old is she?
She's 13.
Okay. Did you help her out by trimming that reed up just a little bit?
So Joe did.
Yes. Okay.
Joe did.
Yep.
And I mean, honestly, she sounds. If you heard me duck call, you probably tell me to leave, but I'm pretty.
No, you're more than welcome to stay in the blind. We would just ask you to refrain from doing that.
But
because I don't pay for guides. I've never paid for guides.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all freelance.
Uh-huh.
And we've got 3 days or maybe 4 to make magic happen.
Uh-huh.
We're there to hunt, man. We're not there to we're doing it what we consider the real way. Our scouting, the whole 9 yards, and we're calling decoys, everything.
Yeah, and she she actually sounds really good, which was surprising because I asked her how she does some of that stuff, and a lot of it comes from your diaphragm for singing, and she sings also. She loves singing, so.
Right.
So she sounds really. So hopefully she just gets really good. Where I just need to take her with me, and I could blow the whistle.
well, not only that, but seriously, I can't stress enough. We need more women in the sports.
Yeah.
Especially in this sport.
She loves it. I think if I told her if she gets good enough, I was gonna send some recordings to Joe just to hear her out. Maybe by this year, next year, have her compete out in Texas. So
there's plenty of there's plenty of youth contests.
Mm-hmm.
Getting up there, and I will tell you, if you want to learn how to run a duck call, go to calling contests. Even if you don't compete, being around really good callers will, just listening to some of the things they're doing, and then once you get to know some of those guys, I've not met any of them. I've not met one that would not sit there and try to explain to you how they're doing certain things. Or that would listen to you and go, hey, you need to start here, or you need to change this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing is when I got into the waterfall community, I mean, everybody's there to help. It's crazy because I'll go on one of my deer stands, and guys are like, hey, this is my spot. Like, come on, man. Like, this is public land. And
well, then you don't hunt around here because waterfowlers around here aren't nice.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying when I'm deer hunting. But
tell you right now, buddy, you're in a spot and somebody else thought that they were going to get that spot and it's public water and they pull up, you're probably going to get cussed at pretty good before they end up leaving.
Oh, we see some things at Lackasen here down here in Louisiana.
It's insane, some of this stuff. These boys sleep in hammocks or sleep in their boats overnight to get a spot because they saw a duck, not ducks, a duck.
I definitely say that going from North Carolina to Louisiana was a little bit different with the variety of ducks.
Would agree. Would agree. I took Truett this year, my best friend, Truett Farmer, took him down 2 years ago down to Louisiana for his first time down to Venice. It was a rough year. We had the low tide was at 6 o'clock in the morning, so it sucked all the water out of the bays. And, we were listening to all the guides that were around there telling their clients, sorry, the birds just aren't here and all these other things. And it took us a day to find birds. And once we did, we shot limits for the next 3 days. Mm-hmm. But like he said, you could never have done that in North Carolina. I mean, if the birds aren't there, they're not there. You're not driving around and finding them. Let's put it that way.
So how was your season this year or this past year?
For North Carolina, it was horrendous.
Okay.
So if I shoot 5 to 10 birds in North Carolina, that's usually a pretty good year. And now that's not wood ducks.
Yeah.
I don't target wood ducks. I'm not getting up that early in the morning, heading to a wood duck hole to get a 15-minute shoot to leave. Yeah, I'm there to waterfowl.
Yeah.
Okay. If wood ducks come through our waterfowling area, that is wonderful. But we are there for mainly the larger puddle ducks. I love to eat wood ducks and everything, but I'm not spending all of that time and energy for a 15-minute hunt. That's just not happening.
That's Joe 100%.
Oh, yeah.
We wake up.
Joe looks like an internet hero. Check it out. We shot Rex. And there's Stump going, yeah, we didn't even fire a shot, baby.
Oh, man.
So, he's got duck in hand. So,
Yeah, internet hero. I love
I'll
them.
tell you, I love them wood ducks, man. They eat good.
Oh, they eat wonderful, and they are fun to shoot and everything. Like I said, there was a time when I did target wood ducks because it was the predominant duck in North Carolina in this area. But I've gotten to where, I enjoy. A lot of people, it's all about numbers. For me, I've always got a soldier with me, or I always have a kid with me, or a female.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's more about the adventure. And when I mean the adventure, come on, guys, you know how it is watching somebody try to back their boat up into the lake, or try to start their boat, or they're right over there and all the logs you hit in the dark, or you forgot this, but you fell in. All of those stories. Yeah, all of those stories. So Joe and I could sit here and talk about the time that we got to hunt together. And to be honest with you, we'd probably have to really work hard to try to figure out how many birds we shot each day.
Yeah.
But we can tell you about what happened on each hunt every single day. Those memories will last me a lifetime that I will pass on to other people. The numbers, I will never remember that, and I would never pass those numbers on to somebody because it's just not that important.
Yeah, and I actually 100% agree.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons I fell in love with waterfowl is just the joy my kids got, because my oldest son is not the quietest person. So when I got him in a tree stand when we hunting deer, or when we're out there in a blind or something, he's not quiet. But when we took him waterfowl hunting down Lackasan, Joe went ahead and took us, and him and his boy and my boy were just shooting the shit, just talking.
Just enjoying the hunt.
Yeah, and my daughter went with us. She loved it. I mean, they fell in the water a couple times, but that's just because my daughter had waders that were way too big for her. But
every time you make those mistakes, they're hilarious. They make for great stories, but they're also learning lessons for what not to do on the next. And I will always say you learn more from failure than you do success.
And I'll be honest, I don't even remember what we killed. I just remember the memories of them falling. I remember them, just having fun, and and my kids missing because we got bored and we started shooting at some coots.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I definitely, I think that's one of the reasons I fell in love with it. But
yeah, I don't blame you. That's the reason I fell in love with it. And to be honest with you, where we live at North Carolina, if you do not enjoy that part, you're not a waterfowler, because you sure aren't going to go waterfowling because you're shooting numbers around here.
Yeah, you definitely getting straps and mallards or nothing like that in North Carolina.
Exactly. We must do out of state hunts to be able to do hunts to where we have an opportunity to enjoy physically shooting birds.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I'm gonna do. So I'm actually moving back to Texas. I told Joe this season I'm gonna come down a couple times for teal season and stuff. Take my kids, and then hopefully this year I get to go to Arkansas and hunt. So definitely some really awesome people out in Arkansas. Some whether you're doing flooded rice or you're doing timber, it offers a plethora of different things out there. Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna go hunt up there by Lake Texarkana and stuff. So
yes,
like Texas or Oklahoma. I don't know. It's the Texas-Oklahoma border.
Yes,
but yeah, absolutely. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I definitely fell in love with it. So when did you always waterfowl hunt down in Oklahoma, or when did you actually get started?
No, I used to laugh at waterfowlers, and I'll never forget the one time I walked through I'm pretty sure it was a Cabela's, and I was walking through by the duck hunting case where all the calls are setting, and they had this was before the internet, back when the dinosaurs and things like that.
And beepers.
Go ahead, Joe. Get the old joke. I got my pimp daddy cane, but. So one of the guys had not flipped over because they got the little tag on it to tell you how much it is, but they have it flipped over so you physically go, ooh, let me see that call, but so you don't get state. Oh, then you go, ooh, and you put it back. Somebody didn't have it flipped over, and it was an R&T call. I had no idea what an R&T was or anything. All I know is I saw that tag, and I believe at the time the tag said $129.99. And I looked, I was like, you got to be freaking crazy. And he's sitting out on a lake freezing to death in freezing weather out here, riding on a boat across the lake, and spending that kind of money on just a duck call? Oh, those guys are idiots. So no, I did not hunt. Did a little hunting as a kid. Stepdad took me out here and there. But I didn't start waterfowling until probably about 2006-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a little boat on the side of the road, and man, for the first 3 years, I didn't blow a duck call because I was afraid somebody would hear me. And hunted the dumbest, craziest places, and I didn't shoot a duck for 2 or 3 years, but I was a glutton for punishment and kept going back, and then started meeting people and those experiences and everything, and started learning some things.
Okay.
So no, I've only been hunting. I've only probably been duck hunting for probably since, I'd say it was about 2006.
And where did you start? You started in North Carolina?
Yeah, here in North Carolina.
Okay. And you just for the viewers, you were also in the service, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you were down there based at Bragg? I'm assuming.
Yeah. So I was based at Fort Bragg. I got out, moved out to Oklahoma for a couple of years, realized that it's right after World War II, and realized that Oklahoma was not for me as an adult,
mm-hmm.
and came back to North Carolina, to the town that I live in now, and been here ever since. But this is where I really cut my teeth on deer hunting, turkey hunting, waterfowling, hog hunting, the whole 9 yards, right here in Carolina.
Sounds like a really good hunting down there.
Yeah, I was probably in my early 30s before I really started hunting.
Joe just said, 87?
Yes.
Early 30s, 87?
Yeah, I got out of the military in 92.
Oh, wow, you got out when my dad got out.
Yeah. So I'm 52 years old.
Yeah, I think that's around the same.
Yeah, like I said, dinosaurs.
If you could see the faces that Joe's making right now, I'm sure you already know what he's doing, but
oh, they're classic.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's the old dude. Funny is the old dude's always up front going, "Come on, guys, let's go."
Hey, when we were in Arkansas, it was me and you waiting in the lobby for everyone else.
Yes. Yeah, me and Joe were carrying a lot of the weight and everything. And it's one of the things that I've always prided myself on is no matter where we hunt, no matter how far you got to haul gear or whatever you got to do to get there, I've always prided myself on being healthy enough to be able to be up at the front of the pack, and I'm carrying my weight and somebody else's as well.
Yeah, I definitely say that first night when we all met up in Arkansas.
Yep.
I didn't sleep. I was like a kid waiting for Christmas in the morning. Just in the hotel room, just like, we're about to hunt.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. Hopefully this season it goes through.
Well, not only are you sitting there and it's like, holy mackerel, we're here in Arkansas and everything. You're getting to hunt in Charles Petty's one of his blinds, a living legend and everything. I mean, if that doesn't get your juices flowing as a waterfowler, I don't know what does.
Yeah, well, just the whole aspect of Arkansas, going to Max's, going
yes,
to going to Worlds and watching the Worlds competition. I mean,
yes,
definitely. That was
Yes.
That was awesome.
So Chris, every year, Charles Petty, like I said, living legend, world championship duck caller,
mm-hmm.
And just a true gentleman. So every year he opens up his pits on his property where he has a guide service to the Foundation Valor and Honor Outdoors, which I'm a board member of.
Uh-huh.
So every year I drive out, I meet 4 to 5 veterans there. And we hunt normally 3 days with Mr. Charles. From there, we'll normally drive over to Stuttgart, and usually get on 2-day hunts over in Stuttgart. Depending on how all that goes, we'll be able to go inside for the callers' dinner. So all the guys that have qualified for the World Championship, they have a dinner the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're allowed to bring a guest. Well, if they don't bring a guest, they will. A lot of those guys are my friends. I call with them and compete with them. They'll escort one of our veterans in so we can get everybody in. The guys get to meet the greatest callers, out there right now.
Yeah.
And then we spend the next day at the festival, watching the World Championship there on Main Street in Stuttgart and everything.
Nice.
But if it wasn't for Mr. Charles and doing stuff like that, there's just no way that would happen. So, hats off to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely agree. And that's one of the reasons I talked to Joe about starting something like this, just to get our voice out for Valor and Honor organizations. It's something I always kind of want to do, especially like friends and buddies and brothers that are deployed and stuff. Just kind of somehow get a voice for them out there. But so I mean, the Arkansas thing, from my understanding, is still going on this year.
So far, yes. And normally, like when we go to Stuttgart, a couple good friends of ours, Chad Scarborough and Jacob Fortner, they have some places in Stuttgart. Man, how many guys will put their hunting aside to make sure that they take you and those vets and put you out there to where those guys get to shoot ducks? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I do.
It's definitely an honor. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Definitely Stump and John taking me on the first. I went on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely. I mean, as much fun as we had. I mean, it was very humbling, hanging out with those guys and.
Yeah, hopefully I get to go this year. Get to meet you guys too. So.
Oh yeah.
That'll be fun. But yeah, I mean, as far as me and Joe, kind of a little background between us. I know. I don't know if he's said anything about me besides that that I could whoop his butt. But yeah, we actually met here, and I've been here a little over 2 years, and the first year he tried to get me to go out, and I was like you, I made fun of duck hunters. Like, I don't want to go out there in a blind and blow on something all day. Like, I want to go kill, get a rack or something. But and then I didn't kill nothing that year. I was upset. I just PCS from Campbell. I was upset. So the following year, we got a hunting lease down here in what's it called? I just brain farted. What's the hunting lease that me and Ayala got?
Oh, that was over there,
Anacoco. And the hurricanes happened. It was horrible. We had to recut a bunch of to get access to our stands, and it was just frustrating. And finally, I just gave in. I was like, you know what? I'll go with you. Let's go. And that first day, I fell in love with it. It was crazy. The grind, the hustle. You go out there and you feel like you actually were there to do something. I don't think we even killed birds that first.
We didn't kill birds. Yeah, I had birds working that day, though.
Yeah, the birds were working. It's just, to me, it was. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it without sounding corny, but it was. It was really
therapeutic.
Therapeutic. There you go. Yeah. Really therapeutic. And I said that to him. It was like a really waterfowl therapeutic mindset. Like, I was at ease. I was calm. I was able to conversate with these guys. We're able to see these birds and how they land. And man, I will say this: wood ducks. I know that's all we went. I just love the way they look.
Because he don't believe me sometimes. I was working these birds.
I mean, it depends on
working wood ducks.
I've worked wood ducks.
Man, you smoking crack? They just want to be there.
All you gotta do is kick the water, and they'll come.
And squeal.
Kick the water.
No, but he on a real note, he really did work some ducks down in Lackison, which was. It's pretty amazing how you work it, and that was one of the reasons I was like, I really want to learn how to duck call, just because. It's amazing how you can work these ducks to come to you, even though the guy, 100 meters away from you is also duck calling, but you can get them into your decoy set or whatever. So
right,
and I think that was one of the other reasons why my daughter fell in love with it, just because I don't know, she just really liked it. She liked. She saw a competition.
All those speckle bellies work that day.
Yeah, I showed her a video of a competition calling. I think it was in Louisiana. And she said she wanted to do that, and I told her keep practicing, and I sent her the videos that Joe sent me to practice on, and I told her listen to ducks and how they sound and how they quack, and so she's been doing that, and she's honestly, I feel like she's gonna be out of my son doesn't care. My son, he's just like, Dad, I just want to kill ducks. Like, he doesn't.
That's what we all want to do.
He's just like, Dad, I just.
Then you need to tell your son that he needs to get a really good job, so that he has a lot of money, so that he can pay $100,000 for a really good lease.
Yeah.
Because if he's poor like me, He's going to have to work for some freaking ducks, baby.
It's like
Yeah, luckily he's smart. AB or he does those spelling bee competitions. He's kind of he competes in those nationally or whatever. He's kind of a weirdo, but I love him. I love my son. But he's a little jokester. My fingies hurt and all this stuff, and he
takes all kinds, man.
Yeah, I love him, but he loves being out there. He likes the idea that me and him can bond more, and
right.
He can bond with others and other waterfowlers. When we get down, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we talk to other waterfowlers that are down in Lackison that we were also hunting, and you know, it's just a bond that you get with them. And my son like that, the idea of meeting new people and stuff.
You think it's a bond, and they're telling you exactly where they were hunting and what they were doing. The funny part is that's not where they were, and that's not what they were doing.
Yeah, because
if you think hey, I'm your buddy, I'm going to give you my spot.
I saw Joe firsthand doing that. So.
Oh yeah, that's a lie. Yeah. I'll tell you when I hunt. I don't care about
that. Like last time we were in Louisiana, when we left, there was one of the guides at the little restaurant we were eating at. He was exceedingly nice to us, and every day after that first day, he kind of looked over at us and he's like, how many did you get? And I whispered, we shot a limit, 2-man limit. Didn't want to say anything loud because he had clients over there. So every day he would see us and he'd be like, what? And we're like, shot limits again. So we did that for 3 days. Well, the fourth day, we're going to leave. So we do that morning hunt. We shot another limit. When we went in for breakfast, we were getting done. I nodded at him, and he came outside the restaurant. I asked him, I said, hey, do you have on X? He's like, yeah. I said, here. And I shot him the pin of where we've been setting for the last 3 days. I said, right there's where we've been shooting ducks. He's like, you got to be kidding me. I would never have thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're there, but you got to work. They're about 250 yards through the cane. There's some holes. There's this, there's that. I don't know if he went there or not, but he treated us respectfully and was super nice. So I made sure to throw that along. Besides that, I mean, I don't know when I would get back down there.
Mm-hmm.
So
hopefully in September, bud.
Yeah, and every year. And here's the funny part. Every year, the hurricanes that come through there, it changes. That hole might not be there the next time.
That's no joke, my man.
No, man, it changes down there like crazy.
I'll tell you what, though, this Hurricane Laura, as bad as it was, I had some house damage. Then, I evacuated my family. For some reason, I'm like you, I'm a glutton for pain. I wanted to stay and live through it. But I'll tell you what, Hurricane Laura brought the teal. And for the listeners,
which one was the first one? Was it Laura or was it the other one?
It was Laura.
What was the second one?
Delta,
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, since I moved down here to Louisiana, we had a pretty good teal season for that blooming teal season. Man, this year was phenomenal on those blue wings.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think that for some reason that storm kept them around.
Well, I will say, I think and I didn't hunt last season. I hunt this past season, but not the season before. I will say, from what you explained to me, because they had that other public area closed, there was a little trouble on killing ducks. I mean, we killed ducks.
Yeah,
but
you'll talk to a lot of guys, and Stubble tags, he hunts all over the place. People, I mean, this is my opinion. People talk about the ducks. Oh, they're not here no more like they used to be. I mean, this year the ducks are here. Numbers don't lie. But there was just a lot of areas you can't hunt, and a lot of public or private land that you can't hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those private land guys they're killing birds. But like Hackberry this year was closed.
Mm-hmm.
The biologist did a flyby, and they were seeing thousands upon thousands of birds stacked up in Hackberry. I mean, they weren't getting shot
Mm-hmm.
at.
Yeah, because they were safe.
Yeah, that's why they're there.
But it's crazy, and this is just me because I've been in Tennessee, California, I've been Texas, I mean, different areas, and I feel like these hurricanes just cause disruption to some of the animals that you're targeting.
Well,
and
they change the landscape.
Well, like even fishing, look at here in Butniks, the biologist said there's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like, how can there be nothing in this big lake?
Oh yeah.
And Vernon, I mean, there's fish there, same thing. Anacoco. So I mean, I don't know if they're gonna restock them or what's going on, or even when I went deer hunting, a lot of the game warden told me a lot of the deer got pushed more north just because of the hurricane. So it's crazy. And I wonder
God will do what God wants to do, no matter what you want, no matter whether I want to duck hunt there. It don't matter.
Absolutely. And I 100% agree. Like, I don't know. I thought about just going up north, but
I can't complain about this.
No, I can't complain either. For my first season, I think I did well for a lot of people who had their first season. You know, luckily I had you to help me out. Because if I would have went out there and duck called, it was bad.
I talk a lot of mess, but I will say like I have been lucky in the last like 5, 6, 7 years of since I've been with Val and Honor and known Stump and them.
So here's a question, Stump. So when you went out hunting with Joe, did he claim that he shot all the birds?
No.
Okay.
Joe, no. There were others that did that, but no, not Joe. Okay. No. but then again, I mean, when you've got guys like this in a blind that have really never done it, but the only thing they understand, is the things they bring, the skills they bring from the military. Those are stationary targets. Very seldomly are they moving, and if they are moving, they're not juking and jiving. So just getting guys to understand lanes. This is your kill zone. This when they come in, you must stay within this kill zone, because at the end of the day, when you've got 5 guys in a pit blind or 6 or 7, birds are on the right. If everybody leans over and starts shooting to the right, you're shooting. You got a good chance of shooting off the end of each other's barrels and all kinds of mishaps. So just getting guys to understand their lanes. And then when the birds come in and you say, shoot, all right, boys, take them. And the guys go to shooting, man, it's really hard to know what you've hit and what somebody else has hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And
flock shooting.
Yeah, so I did that.
So yeah, that'll happen a lot. Instead of picking, so if I try to explain, especially the kids that I take and everything, but I try to explain, so the birds come in. We had two vets in Missouri, and it was perfect. We had a pair come around a corner, worked them all the way down. They're about 5 foot off the water, 20 yards out, and they're cupped. They're just about to sit down, and I just looked over, was like, "Take them, boys." They stood up. The gentleman in the blind on the left shot the left bird. The gentleman on the right shot the right bird, and it was a boom, boom, and both birds flipped, head down, straight into the water.
Was that over that river?
Yes, and that's how it's supposed to happen. But when you get guys that are, they're excited and they've never duck hunted, and all of a sudden there's 30 birds in front of them, man, they just shoot center mass because they think they're just going to crush them. The next thing you know, nothing falls, and they're like, how is that even possible?
Gotta pick that bird.
See,
you got to shoot. You got to pick them out.
Yeah, I was exactly that person when I first started because, I grew up shooting bow or shooting rifle, or we had shotguns, but we didn't use them. I mean, even when I went squirrel hunting, we didn't use shotguns. And
right.
I talked to Joe, and he's all like, "Yeah, just keep both eyes open and
eyes open. You got to start understanding leads of distances, or the species and what direction, the wind.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of things that go on. I got this great video. I think it was day 3. We were hunting Clint Shipman in Clint's blind. It's a scissor blind. It's a pit with a scissor on the top. And I got the camera running, and he is working specs like nobody's business. And here they come. There's about 6 of them coming from behind us. And just as they pass right over the top of us, because they're going to land out in front of us, just as they pass right over the top of us, they're no more than 20 yards above us. I mean, this is an easy thing right here. There should be 6 dead specks. Clint yells, "Take them, boys!" I've got it on video, and you can see all of this stuff going through the air, wads flying everywhere, birds juking and jiving, and all of a sudden, all 6 of those birds fly off, and you hear Clint over there go, "What the hell?" Oh yeah, it was an epic day.
Was this the past year?
No, that was the year with you there.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
Yo,
yeah. I got that bad boy on video.
Dang,
you missed it.
Dude, that was crazy. Oh, that was a good season. So that was a good day with Clint.
Oh, we'd agree, Clint. We shot quite a.
We killed a pretty good amount of birds that day.
We got quite a few specks that day, and ducks. But yeah, there should have been limits across the board. But you know what? Like I said, at the end of the day, the quality of that hunt and those stories and everything, and being able to hunt with Clint like that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that day was probably one day.
Yeah.
That I will probably tell my great grandkids about.
Yep.
I will never. Like Clint,
I'll send you that video for the story when you tell them, so they know that you missed.
Yeah, send it to us so I can put it on the social media.
Oh,
show them how Joe.
I have pictures of that day I sent you.
It's so epic.
No, I want videos. I want videos so I can put it on social media because I can't tell you how much hard time he gave me at shooting birds this whole season. Where I was like, "Look, man, I'm trying. I'm trying, man."
But he's been through it too, though. So you know.
But
we still have those days. I went to the range the other day with a couple buddies. And they said we were going to go shoot some clays, and I don't know whether this is called clays or you're shooting. I know it's not 5-stand, but you walk around, you yell pull. There's a B bird. Da da da.
Sporting clay.
Sporting clay. Okay, sporting clay. Well, apparently the course was set up for like the Masters. They had a big tournament. Guys come in, and I'm like, okay, big deal. You shoot 100, targets. I think I hit 26.
Oh yeah,
I got smoked. I was like, this is crazy. This is insane.
What were you shooting?
I was shooting my Benelli, but I had a full choke in because I shoot a full choke with Boss.
Yeah.
I don't know if that, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't tell you why. That's not the first time that's ever happened, but I can't shoot clays for nothing.
So like, I don't know what it is, but with I can shoot trap. I can shoot trap with the kids, and I'll post something on Instagram about it. I can shoot skeet pretty well. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about the sporting clays or the 5-stand.
That's what we're doing tomorrow?
That's what we're doing tomorrow with Allen Honor.
So I'll send you some videos of Joe shooting some sporting clay.
That 5-stand whoops my behind like no other.
Yep.
But
it's crazy.
We'll see how I do. I'll be shooting some. So what do you shoot? You said a Benelli?
So I hunt with a pointer 410. Mm-hmm. It's a semi-automatic 410 and Jeb's choke tubes, and I shoot. This year I was shooting Boss number 7.
Okay. And you said what choke tube?
I use a Jeb's.
Jeb's. Okay.
Yep.
I like to tell you that I think I was telling you about that. Number 6 is coming back, my man.
Yes, so I was a little disappointed when they took the 6s away. So I hear a lot of people talking about shot, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you shoot that size." You got to think it's copper-plated bismuth. You got to get the steel thing out of your head. A lot of the guys this year, the vets were sitting in the blind, and there I am with a 410, and they questioned it. Well, they didn't question it after day one because that one lone speck that came in, and he peeled off on my side. It was a done deal. He was almost 37, 38-ish yards out, and he peeled off, and that was the end. That was the end of it. And I popped up, shot one time, crushed him, rolled him over, and everybody's like, "Okay."
Yeah, I was about to say, gonna get it.
So at the end of the day, the only difference between a 410 and a 12 gauge is you're shooting the exact same size shot. You're shooting the exact same velocity. It's just that I have less pellets than you do. That is the only difference between a 410, a 20, or a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
So if a 12 gauge, number 7 will kill speckle bellies and ducks, why can't a 410 do it?
Yeah, I mean,
energy's energy, man.
Energy's energy. It's just that I've got a less of a pellet count.
I mean, I've seen his boys shoot a single shot 410 and just laying birds. Out of your boys, I think your youngest one's a shot, man. Yeah. He got a good shot. Yeah. They both are good, but man, that one he shot, I don't know how many, 40 yards away.
Yeah.
That one he bam laid it out. It was crazy. It was amazing shot.
The blue and teal.
Yeah, and it was done. It wasn't cripped. It was done. It was
crazy. Right.
Yeah, don't tell them that though. Those kids are having bigger places than it is.
Yes, they will.
But hey, just for the viewers, we've been talking for a while, and definitely, we have probably one of the best. In my opinion, if you look at my lanyard, I got if you look at a quack and duck, I have RM Calls on my lanyard. So for the beginner duck hunters that kind of like Christian and that stuff, what do you recommend for those guys getting ready
So
for?
so everybody. So I hear a lot of stories about that. You know, well, this person recommends this. This person recommends this. So a lot of people will say, well, get a cheap duck call to start learning on. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly for the simple fact of, I say get the best duck call that you can possibly get and start working on it. In my line, is a cold weather fan. It doesn't take a lot of air, but it can take a lot of air. That call has 8 world championships under its belt for a reason, to be able to manipulate and do things. But at the end of the day, just your basic quacks. But I mean, I'm wholeheartedly tell people get the best call. So let me ask you a question. So you're going to be duck hunting, right? And you know, you go out to buy decoys. You don't search out the cheapest decoy that you can buy. You don't search out the cheapest clothing that you could buy. You don't go buy the cheapest boat that you can buy.
Or shotgun.
You don't go out and buy the cheapest single shot shotgun that you can buy. You all of these things that you get, but at the end of the day, those decoys and that duck call is what convinces the bird to come over so that you can utilize everything else that you spent all that top of the dollar money on. So you're willing to spend $10,000 or more on just a boat. Why wouldn't you at least spend $100 on a duck call?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying that a cheap duck call can't kill ducks. I'm not saying that at all. And if you're people are like, but I only want to just kill ducks. Well, I agree with that. So you just want to drive to the store. Why don't you go buy a Yugo? Why don't you have a little 3-cylinder little car that you're going to go to the store? I mean, you're just going to the store. Nope. Guys will go down there and they'll get their, they'll go get that big GMC truck, a big Dodge with V8 engine and 400 horsepower.
Well, that's the problem. So Dodge.
Well, would agree. But you see what I'm saying? Get something that is going to perform. I get asked that a lot. The cold weather fan for just the straight beginner, that call, you'll never outgrow the call.
Yeah.
You can take that. You should be able to take that duck call and learn on it, duck hunt on it, or get up on a stage and compete with it.
So would you say it'd be smart for me, because my daughter's actually practicing on my alpha one? Would it be smart for me to get her a cold weather fan to keep practicing on?
So if she wants to blow in meat calling and live duck calling, I would definitely say a cold weather fan would be more advantageous. Okay. The alpha is a cold weather fan. However, it's a modified cold weather fan. It'll still do a lot of the ducks on the bottom and everything, but it will get even louder. So for those guys that they refuse to blow soft, they want to blow hard no matter what. That's where the alpha comes in at.
Hey, Joe.
I'm pointing at me right now.
Okay. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and because she loves it, but I don't want her to build bad habits.
Well, like the worst bad habit that you can possibly, I believe, start with is grunting.
Yeah.
If number one, if you've got a duck call that you have to grunt into it, there's one of two things going on. Either number one, you're not putting proper air in it, or number two, the duck call doesn't have built-in rattle, and you shouldn't have it on your lander to begin with.
Okay. Yeah, because
the call should have rattle built into it. You can clean the rattle up, but then the guys get over there and they start growling into the calls, and that's a very bad habit.
Yeah, I had because I actually showed her your Instagram, a couple of the ones you made, and she likes a couple of the pink ones that you make for breast cancer awareness. And
stuff. For the breast cancer. Yep.
So she likes those, and I told her, and now that I know that cold weather fan probably be the best, I'll probably end up getting that for her.
I mean, there's a lot of good calls out there. I mean, if I wasn't blowing an RM on stage or out in the blind, I would be blowing a JJ Layers. Brett's a good friend of mine. Makes a heck of a product. Super good guy. That would be a call that would be on my lane if I wasn't blowing mine.
Yeah, and the only reason I say that is just because she really wants a duck call. She wants to be in a competition. So if she can get a good quality duck call, and she gets good enough, then I think that'll be
So
good
so
for
when it comes to you being that good, so when you get down the road and everything,
her.
every different maker, yes, they all sound like a duck, but there's different pitches, there's different back pressures, they're how loose, how tight, how difficult it is to manipulate things, and that's when a caller gets to a certain level that they start searching for a call, not that makes them sound better, but that allows them to manipulate the call better.
Yeah.
And those are those little nuances that you'll start looking for.
Okay. So
now you'd say that for a competition caller, right?
Huh?
Now that's more for a competition caller who wants to sound.
Yes.
Now,
Yep.
How about a duck caller in the blind?
What about a duck caller in the blind?
Like
I think that every sound that you can possibly make, the more vocabulary that you give yourself. I mean, think about it. So you're sitting in the blind. You don't have your weapon is that duck call.
Yes.
All right. The more ammunition that you have for that duck call, it has an unlimited capacity. You can put as big of a clip as you want into it, or feed it as many rounds as you want.
Yeah.
Your ability is what dictates how many bullets that you got in that duck call that puts you out there to be able to call at those ducks. If you limit yourself that I just want to do this, okay, you're happy with going to the blind and being able to do those two things or that one thing. Where I hunt, you need to be better than that.
Yo,
I want to know. I enjoy having the full vocabulary, and I'm always learning to get better and learn new secrets and new little things. But I've always said that the more that you can have, the more bullets you can have in that sound, the better off you're going to be out in that blind, because you're going to be able. You should be able to hit a pitch or a cadence or a sequence or something that at least gets the birds to look. Not that they commit, but they at least let's just take a look.
They give you that chance.
Yeah. So I think
If they don't give you that chance, you're losing.
Yeah. I think this is actually a really good points and stuff, especially for our beginner duck callers like me.
Yeah.
I think what I would like to do, and if it's okay with you, if we can maybe in a future, a couple weeks or something, we can actually go over techniques, the duck call. Because I know, speaking to Joe, I mean, you're an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to in detail how to pitch, how to.
I'm just a really good BSer, and he hasn't figured that out yet.
But I mean, if you're up to it, I would love to have another show in maybe 2 weeks or something. Talk to you in depth about that. Because if we go on now, we'll probably be here till another 3 hours, and I feel like, I mean, you can go on and on about this, but before we actually get done with everything, I did have one more question for you. So, what is your favorite waterfowl to target?
Pintails.
Pintails? Okay.
Pintails, just because. To me, when you see a pintail flying over, you watch all these ducks and everything. Let's just say that you could be in a pit or a blind or something with every duck, in species wise, it's going to fly by. And I've always felt that when you watch a pintail fly by, it's just sheer elegance. He's got especially that drake. It looks like he's in a tuxedo and he's flying by, and he looks like, hello, how are you doing today down there? Well, yes, I am a top-tier duck. But after that, I've shot very few widgeon, but I love widgeon. But I mean, as far as manipulating, if you said, hey, dude, you got to go pick one duck to hunt, I mean, it's going to be a mallard or a gadwall.
Okay.
Gadwalls to me are beautiful. So
yeah, I love them. That's probably one of my favorite. And funny that he's talking about pintails. It's probably one of my favorite, most memorable pintail shoots I've had was out there in Stuttgart with you. That when those group of pintail came in,
they're so beautiful. I don't want to clean them.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'll clean your gun. I'll go clean your waders if you'll clean my pintails for me. I can't do it.
But as bad as some of us were shooting that day, that was the one group of bird we had where everyone shot their one shot, and everyone had a pintail.
Would agree.
Ass over tea kettle coming into the decoys.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a really good conversation. We didn't go into this podcast like we usually do, and I mean, it was fun just talking to you, man. I really do appreciate you, Stump.
Yep.
So just for our viewers, as far as the duck calls, the best way to get RMC calls, is that just through your website?
It would be through the website.
Through the website, okay. And
Yep.
I highly recommend to our viewers just because the quality of them. Because I was that guy that bought calls and didn't realize that I needed to get a specific one. So I think for me personally and from my experience, I think a call is something you want to spend your money on. Just because I don't think you. I think without a duck call,
I would spend more money on a duck call and save money on decoys if I had a choice.
Yeah, because
I think we talked about
we talked about that.
Because if you go for a low end call, if you want to save money, I promise you're gonna end up spending more money.
Yeah, because you're gonna keep buying low end calls.
About one high end call.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter what. Like I said, I blow RM. But I mean R&T, like he said, rich in tone, Echo. There's plenty of good call companies out there. But
there's some good custom call makers out there. Brad Samples, Ken Eason.
Yeah.
Super good gentlemen in life, but they make a very good product. It's very pretty as well.
But spend your money on that one call. Spend $100 on one call instead of $200 on 10 shitty calls you don't want.
Yep.
Hey, before we get off, we end it. What do you have on your landing this year? And what do you think you'll be hunting with next year?
What do you mean as far as call?
As far as calls.
I'll probably end up normally on my lander these days is a 410 and an alpha.
Okay.
Yep. I hunted a 410 just about every day this year, and then I throw the alpha on there, for a deeper pitch, a little bit more volume if necessary. But the 410 allows me to hit everything that I personally want to hit in the blind and everything.
Okay.
So besides that, with it being our newest design, I like to hunt them hard and be able to give people feedback, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then listen to the customer and say, what did you guys see? What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, it was amazing talking to you. Just kind of going into this as talking as friends. So for our viewers, again, if you didn't catch it, but RMC, is it RMC calls.com or?
Yeah, it's rmcustomcalls.com.
You could also find them on Instagram, Facebook. I know I have them on Instagram and Facebook as well. So
yeah. I don't do the book of faces, but there is a collector page that some gentleman runs it over there and everything.
Yeah, the calls are beautiful. So again, we also want to thank Valor and Honor Outdoors for everything they do. I want to thank everybody who supports us out there. And anybody, if you guys, any veterans out there, service members, first responders, you have any questions or any topics you want to go over, please reach out to us on social media or through our email at flywayconnectionspodcast@gmail.com. So, Stump, it was amazing talking to you, brother.
Hey, bro.
We'll definitely get you back so we can get more into details on calls and also maintenance. I definitely want to learn a little bit more on maintenance.
Would love to teach people how to tune their own call. That's like if you could teach waterfowlers how to tune their own call, it would things would be just so much better.
Yeah, I definitely need help doing that because I tuned my own and Joe's like, "What the heck did you do to it?"
When I tell you how to do it, you're gonna be like, "That's it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's really it, guys. We're not going to Mars. This isn't NASA. It's easy."
But again, I really appreciate it, Stump. You have anything, Joe?
I mean, like I said, good buddy of mine. Always appreciate talking to you, and like I said, this is a good mentor of mine, and like I said, love you like a brother, my man.
Love you too, brother, man.
All
right. We'll talk to you later, Stump.
All right, guys, have a good one.
You too, bud.
God bless. Bye.
Bye.